All right, so Ed actually brought this to. I don't think we talked about it on the show, but I know we talked about it in chat. And so this is coming from TechSpot.com. The headline says, "Get ready for TV-style commercials in console and PC games." And Ed, I feel like you said to us a couple weeks ago that Facebook was going to start implementing ads
in Oculus. Yeah,
is that right?
Yes.
And so that's why this kind of caught my attention. And we didn't end up talking about it, but I remember thinking like in like regular games, like you're just going to be in the middle of shooting stuff up and all of a sudden it's going to be like bing, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
This from your, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I was like, oh, what the heck is that? And so I saw this from TechSpot. I'm going to just read this. It says, Axios reports that an advertising platform called Player One, WON, I've seen that before, owned and operated by TV ad tech company Simul Media, has been testing console game ads for over a year. They're also coming to PC. The tests have been successful, according to the firm, and it has now signed deals with EA and Tencent's High-Res Studios, who did Smite, Paladins, Rogue Company, to put them in more games. Now, I don't know if you guys remember, but EA got in trouble for, was it the NBA 2K games that had commercials in it?
Oh, I don't remember.
I think it was 2K21 had unskippable ads in it and stuff like that.
Oh, wow.
Got in trouble, or like there was an uproar and
there was an uproar
mad?
from people like, wait a second,
I didn't know
paid,
if, like legally, like
I've paid all this money for these games, and this article does go on to say that the ads are supposed to offer incentives for viewers, and they were supposed to be in more free to play games, not games that you paid full price for, and it just got me thinking like. We've already had the bump of $10 in brand new AAA games going from 60 to 70. I don't want any ads in my games.
I don't want them taking baby steps, even if it is in free-to-play games. I don't want them to take those baby steps to my pay-to-play games.
Right. And so, Ed, one of the arguments I would think, and this is not a fully thought-out thought, I'm just thinking it right now, for people like me that play a lot of free-to-play games on my mobile, there's ads all over the place, right? Little 30-second ads that I can't skip, and they're showing me some kind of amazing cinematic that looks nothing like the game that you're going to go download. We've probably all seen the house, it's always looks like, hey, try to get this guy out of this jail cell, but then you download the game and it's nothing like that. Township or something, or garden simulator, I don't even know. But we've all kind of like had that in mobile games, and you're kind of used to it in mobile games. and I've talked about my beef with Plants vs. Zombies 2, was it? That was free to play but had ads all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
So now they're talking about taking that to console and PC. Tim, what do you think about that?
Yeah. I'm fine. Whatever.
What?
It works for me.
No, you're not.
I don't care.
We have zero ads. That's one of the things I love about Clash Royale is it's got zero ads in it. There's no ads in Clash Royale. You just keep it moving. Could you imagine paying for a game? And I'm not saying this would ever happen. They would never do this. But, your brain's going to go to worst case scenario. Can you imagine just like pausing in the middle of Uncharted and they were like, can we show you this ad for such and such real quick? And you got to watch a 30-second ad every 3 hours.
If you're paying for a game, you don't have ads, right? But if it's free, you're going to get ads. I'm so used to it, so it wouldn't bother me at all. Like that's
I know, but you don't play any games that have ads in them.
Yeah, because I buy most of my games.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't have to worry about it.
Ed is saying even the baby steps of bringing ads into console and PC free-to-play games, is that going to be a bad open door for then games that you pay for, like 2K did, with bringing them to games that you paid $70 for?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm just so used to it now. Like, we see it everywhere, right? So, like, you're on Peacock or you're on Hulu or you're like, and you just have that little 30-second thing. Like, even on some of the mobile games that I have, besides Clash Royale, it's like, I guess I'm just so used to it that it doesn't really bother me. And even it might bother me more if I had paid for the game and then you go from there. But I don't know. I'm so used to it. Like, I know how this works. I know the system. Like, that's how they pay their bills, and that's the ad revenue that they get. I get it.
Yeah, but
I
aren't you supposed to pay your bills from me buying the game?
Yes, that would be my point too. It's like, I bought your game. Stop trying to sell me something else besides the game that I just bought. So I get that aspect of it. But if it's free, it's kind of up in the air, in my opinion. I mean, you're going to you almost have to.
I agree with you. I'm used to seeing free stuff on my mobile phone. So if you go there on a console where I'm not totally used to seeing it, but I think I would be able to forgive it a little bit more. Chris, what do you think?
I don't really take that much issue with it if it's a free game. I mean, I don't necessarily want it. Like, for instance, I'll use this as an example. I play a lot of Apex, and it's a free game. I mean, outside of, I have bought season passes or battle passes, whatever. There's things I bought in the game.
Yep.
But I never paid for that game, and I've played the heck out of it. If they implemented something where, I don't know, after every fifth match, I have a 15-second or 30-second ad that I can skip, or if I watch through, I get some Apex Legends points or whatever the heck it is, I'm not really going to be that upset. I mean, at the end of the day, would I want it? No, but I'm not going to really be that upset. Now, if I'm buying, a $70 game and it's got something in it that I can't not have, then yeah, that's going to upset me a little bit more. But you said something which I have no idea how they could ever implement this. But if it was something where, rarely do I actually even do this, but where I'm pausing the game and walking out and they want to run an ad, that wouldn't bother me. Because if a minute I go and I hit on pause, the ad stops, I don't really care. I'm not really seeing the thing. Because if I'm pausing the game, I'm probably not even in the room.
Well, 2K
but
has
outside of that, if I'm paying $70 for
ads.
the next Uncharted, no, I don't want in between chapters. I don't. I bought the PS5 to eliminate load screens. I don't want them to artificially add them back in so they could show me an ad. No, I don't want that.
Yeah. I just remember in 2K, they were unskippable ads going into, I think, every game. And so, you know what I'm saying? It felt so egregious at the time. Please, somebody who's listening, correct me on that. I could have swore that was the case, though, where they were dropping straight Oculus TV commercials as you're going into a game.
And I'm not saying that's not egregious, but do we know? Did they ever confirm one way or the other? So like especially last gen, you're loading into whatever game, and a lot of time for the sports games like Madden or whatever, which is the one I have the most, that I've played with a little bit the most in the past. Like, it'll have, like, the announcer, and, like, you're swooping around the stadium and, like, brought to you by, and whatever, and be like, well, okay, it's a really great weather out here. And it's like, if it's that, because they're loading in the game or an ad, if I'm going to have to deal with the thing anyways, I don't really care if it's an ad or it's, Joe and Frank being like, well, what do you think, Frank? Well, I don't think it's going to be a tough match. It's all annoying to me. Again, on this now generation, hopefully I don't even have to have that. It just loads right into the game, so I still don't want it. But do we know, was that covering loading, or was that just because they got paid for it?
It was during loading.
Okay.
However, they did listen to the people and took it out.
So did they take it out, or they replaced it with another thing that covers the loading that was just not an ad?
They had those 2K TV segments. I don't know if you ever played 2K, but like somebody would be talking anyway because the game takes forever to load. And so they'd be talking. But I think people didn't like getting sold an Oculus Quest while they're playing NBA 2K.
Sure. Right.
Right. I mean, the ad has to... Sorry, but go ahead.
Yeah, you're saying that you're about to say the ad needs to at least go along the lines of the game.
Yes, it has to be consistent. It can't be anything crazy. Like, be consistent with it. Otherwise, the advertisers aren't really doing their job. And if I were an advertiser, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, no, that doesn't go with that. No. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, I thought it was just so funny. You can't play NBA 2K on the Oculus Quest. You know what I'm saying? So, like, not only are they running an ad, but they're running an ad for something that you can't even play. The game that I'm playing, I can't, play over there. Oh, anyway. I just thought it was really interesting because I was like, man, mobile, I'm so used to it console, it would definitely throw me off like it did. And I didn't like the segments they did anyway on 2K. I wish I could just not have them, period. Just like, say loading. I don't need the entertainment, quote-unquote, entertainment value during the loading. Just get me to the game, whatever's faster. I felt like if you're using resources to play this, put it towards loading the game, because the game already takes forever to get into.
Yeah.
It's, and again, like, especially with this new generation, once the vast majority of gamers out there are on it, obviously PC is its own realm where it's always kind of been the speedy and everything like that, but I understand, like, I don't want anything to slow down my game time. It's all about, this whole generation is supposed to be about get into it, go fast, constantly stay there, and all these kinds of things. So I'm with you guys. I don't want it either in a game that I paid money for. But at the same time, like, I feel like I've also been on this camp, or in this camp, for years. I was one of those people that thought, why are any of these people paying for Hulu with ads? Why are why are we buying cable and I've got to watch all these commercials? It's like, I'm paying you for this. Like, I've never understood it. It's always just worked its way in. It's just kind of one of those things. It's like, it's interesting to me, like, maybe that this might end up being the one where people, like, put their flag in the sand, like, no, not here, kind of thing. I'd be very curious to see if this proceeds, and then how far does that? Is it just a little rumbling and then it goes by the wayside because everybody just accepts it, or is it going to be like a real pushback? I'll be very curious to see how it plays out.
I will say,
go ahead.
I will say I did like the way Discovery Plus did it, because when we signed up, we got the base level tier. It was like $4.99 a month, and that limits like to 30-second ads, and then you can go up more, and then that eliminates all the ads completely. Like, I kind of like that. That way, I'm not paying a ton. I don't mind the ads. But it's not costing me $9 or $12. It's costing me less.
HBO
so
Max is doing the same thing right now too. They offer an ad tier that's like $5 instead of $15 or something.
And honestly, like I said, I'm okay with that because I'm so used to it. It's just like I will not even pay attention to a 30-second ad. Yeah, I can just look on my phone real quick or do whatever, or go to the bathroom if I have to, and then come back and off we go. So
now,
I do like that progression.
If the next Assassin's Creed whatever, they say, okay, $70 or $50 with ads, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I would pay the $70.
So would I.
Oh, would you really?
I would have no problem with that being the option. Yes, I would pay for no ad.
Yeah.
But I would not. I'd be fine with, like, okay, if it's going to be a thing, there needs to be some trade-off.
Yeah.
So to give the people who maybe that benefit of that cheaper price is better for them, and they don't mind they have the router mentality of like, I don't mind an ad or whatever like that, and you can get it for $20-$30 cheaper, I'm fine if that were an option. But if I'm paying full price day one for game X, I want it to be adless.
I want there to be. I will take that option.
I tell you what,
I will pay a couple bucks more to not have ads on Peacock or
so what
on
if it
Hulu
was,
or on, I don't want any ads.
What if it was 70 and 80?
What was 70, 80?
70s with ads, 80s without.
80.
You too, Chris?
Probably so, but to me, it's not really my hesitation. Is that my hesitation is more in thinking about, like, I don't feel like that's enough incentive. Like $10 off to have ads. That's not enough. Like that's kind of, it's like you've got to make it worth my while. So it's going to have to be 20 or 25.
But what I always wonder is how much money do they make off the ads? So the only reason I bring it up is because you guys know me. There's times that I go through just playing a lot of games on my phone. I love finding new mobile games. That's why it pops up as the question of the week sometimes, just because I want to try other mobile games. Even if I don't play the game that much, if it's a free game and like halfway into it, it's like, hey, $2.99 and no more ads, I pay it every single time.
Dude, if I am right there with you. If I'm enjoying the game, I'm like, yeah, I answered enough polls. I can do this.
Exactly.
And if it's a game I'm not sure of and they start bombarding me with ads, I'm like, not delete. Nope.
Yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yep.
And so it just begs the question for me, if for some of those apps it's only $3 and say Chris, they do the 50 and 70 thing, you're like, would they really make $20 off of me showing me ads? Or would they really only make $10 off of me, so it makes more sense for them to do 70 and 80? I'm with y'all. I'd pay the $80 for sure.
Yeah.
I also don't. Part of the reason that I'm not super concerned about this, or super concerned with if it's going to become super prevalent, is I don't think that prominent developers that are already doing really well with free to play or non free to play is going to do this. I don't. Maybe I'll be completely wrong on this, but I don't see Hearthstone starting to put in ads in the middle of your matches.
Well, not in the middle of
Oh,
a
there's
match.
no way.
Well, I'm
No,
saying,
there's
or
no
like
way.
in between matches, like I don't see Fortnite doing it. Like Fortnite, some of the most popular free to play games, I just don't see them putting ads. Now, I'm saying that maybe slightly in ignorance because I don't play it now, so maybe it's got ads all over the place, and I have no idea.
Well, I think,
but I haven't heard about it.
I think, Chris, too, you're talking about games that know what to offer beyond the game, right? That's
Yes.
why if you look at the Play Store or the Apple Store, usually you'll see the top grossing games are free to play games because they know how to put the carrot on the stick within their game enough to where they make a bunch of money within the game. And so I think this will fall and be really tasty to games that are like, we don't really have skins we can offer, and we can't. Loki's not entering the battle like he's about to in Fortnite, and so what do we offer? And they're like, oh, we'll just do the ad, and we can stop short of offering anything.
Yeah.
How impressionable are you guys? Like, do ads make a difference? Because for me, I think the only time I see an ad that makes me want to go out and get that product is for a movie.
I tell you what, man, Instagram and the whole like listening to you while you're talking to other people and then that thing just popping up. That's grabbed me twice, I think, an ad on Instagram. I've bought an ad on Instagram.
I've gotten something on Instagram and or Facebook before, yeah.
But what about an ad
it's
that you
just
see
popped
like
up.
on TV?
Oh, heck no.
Not since I haven't been a kid.
Right.
But
yeah.
like, I
Right,
watch
right.
it really work on the kids, right? Every single time
Oh,
a new
sure.
like, Hot Wheels track comes out, they're like, back to the Hot Wheels track.
And that's why they want to
right.
put them in the free games.
Right, exactly. But I've never called like Morgan and Morgan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, I think the only things that I've seen TV commercials for that have enticed me, I mean, probably like movies at times, but like it's usually like stupid stuff like, oh, they've got a pizza with a croissant in it. I'm gonna go buy that DiGiorno next time I'm in the store.
right.
Like I'll see stuff like that occasionally.
Pizza within a
I'm
pizza?
like,
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
I'm like Gabe. I'm not calling this attorney at law.
No, you've been injured.
Even though if I
right.
got hurt, maybe I would. I just you
maybe.
never know. Like I've been bombarded with. I've got like 85 different last names in my head that I'm like, oh yeah, they give me some money. Bart Durham for sure.
But I
would get me
have
paid.
bought like shirts or hats before, like when I'm scrolling through whatever X social media site, and if there's an ad for a shirt that it's like I don't follow this person but it's clearly an ad, but I'm like, oh, but that's actually really cool. There's been a couple times that's happened.
It's funny because I feel like I'm more impressionable to like a still image ad like that online than I am that McDonald's commercial they spent millions on.
Right. Yeah,
is
I'm not
funny.
going
Yes.
to get a. I'm not going to get a McRib.
And I feel like I'm lifting a line from a comedian that I absorbed somewhere, but it's like, McDonald's, we know you exist. You don't even have to advertise.
Exactly.
You have those stores every mile and a half from themselves.
Right. We know
You know
what
what
you
I'm
do. We know if we like you or not. Stop it.
yeah,
Exactly.
But here's the thing. They wouldn't be spending that money if it wasn't bringing it back
it didn't
in.
work.
They got
Yeah.
data that shows
Really?
spending this.
It's called customer
Absolutely.
acquisition cost,
Yeah.
and they know exactly how much it costs to get customers.
And then it's
you know,
because of the ads? I don't know. That's so crazy.
It's hard for me to believe too.
Yeah.
But and you're right. McDonald's, I don't need to remember it exists because there's one. I pass one every time I go anywhere from my house.
Right.
Because there's a McDonald's right there. But I might not know that there's like the new Shake Shack opened down the street. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and so
right.
like there is different things like that, or the new
Right.
spa that came to town.
The local
you know,
ads,
more
yeah.
local ads. Yeah, more local ads. But I'm not like gonna be like, oh babe, Coca-Cola. Did you know that was still a thing? We should get some Coca-Cola. You know what I mean? But like
Taco Bell's putting meatloaf in a burrito? Where are my keys? I must go right now.
remote start the car because it's cold out.
Right.
Yeah.
It's got
Yeah,
Dorito
exactly.
crust on it.
Exactly.